What up, though, guys? You already know it's your girl, Jaja. I'm here with the one and only international superstar, okay? Big Don, not the little one, okay? Big Bishop. Y'all better stop playing. He ain't even got a church, and y'all all his fans and church members in the pew. But welcome to another DR2 exclusive. I am so just in awe in your growth, and you know, I feel like you need a men's panel. Like, I can't wait to bring you on like some training workshops because, you know, before we got started, we were talking all about your healing process and shadow work that it takes for men that men need when they're going through life's changes. When did you really notice that you were a superstar? Before the TVs, before the cameras, like when you knew, you know what, I kind of am the sugar honey iced tea.
So it's funny that you say that. So people always ask me when they get to see like certain quotes I use on Instagram, continuously or hashtags, and then if you've ever been around me, I have my shirt off working out. I got big letters go straight across my stomach. I'm always asking, what does that mean? So NMOL, no more ordinary lifestyle.
No more ordinary lifestyle.
No more ordinary lifestyle.
No more ordinary lifestyle.
And I came up with that. Me and my brothers came up with that when we was like 13, 14 years old.
Your real brothers.
We was playing ball on our crate. Couldn't tell us nothing. And we were like, my brother was getting into music at the time. He's now he raps. You know, my little brother's an artist as well.
Shout out to y'all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we just one of my brothers does fashion. He's on work for everything like Sean John to any major clothing company you can think of. Like he's like how Ty is to Detroit. That's what my boy Donardo is to the Chi. Like you know, but we knew that kids that we didn't want to be ordinary.
Yeah.
We didn't know what we were gonna do. We didn't know I didn't know if I was getting to the NBA or playing football or maybe even being active even back then. I always had a great imagination. But I knew I could manifest my life not being an ordinary life. And I always knew I wanted to be something special, even as a kid. Even when nobody saw it.
Come on.
I knew it though.
But you know, even with that and growing up in Chicago, right, I'm sure it's not as challenging as it is now for a lot of our 13 and 14-year-olds, you know, especially incorporating, you throw social media in it, you throw peer pressure and all those different things, right? We still played when the street lights was on. We still, you know what I'm saying, rode our bikes. So it was definitely a different time frame. But to those 13 and 14-year-old boys, right, that are trying to find their dreams, what advice would you give to them to figure out how to own their specialness and not live an ordinary life? From Detroit to Chicago or across the nation?
Even if I could have went and talked to my younger self, I would have honestly told myself it's going to be all right. I think it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
That the lessons that you're going through or what you're going through at this time is only making you better. And I mean it. You know, I think we heard it a lot, but nobody quite understood what it meant. Yeah. And I think a lot of people always wishing for a life that was different, wishing for a life that didn't have adversity. I don't think people understand that adversity is literally what designed us.
Yes.
The reason why I can be so resilient, the reason I can do audition after audition, or like I said, my brother is an artist who can write song after song, and not everyone blows up, but he doesn't quit.
Come on.
You know, or you watch that writer that just kept writing until the movie was finally picked up or the book was finally sold.
Yes.
It's going to be okay. So your life that you're living as a young boy or a young lady in Detroit or a young man in Chicago or a young lady in Chicago, all of your trials and tribulations are literally designing you to be stronger than anybody else.
Your roadmap.
Your roadmap. Because it taught me what it meant to be resilient. It taught me what it meant not to give up and know that my day is coming. And so because of that, now that I'm in positions, I know how to work hard and work my ass off.
Come on.
Because of what I went through.
I know that's right.
So it's going to be okay.
And you definitely work your butt off. Off and on the screen, okay? Y'all, we was having counseling before we started filming. And you were revealing to me you lost your mom to the streets, to abuse, drug abuse, which happened to a lot of our African American families, our families in urban communities, to drug abuse. And how did that affect you growing up? You know, because so many children and families don't have that balance. You know, they don't have a mom and a dad. You know, I had mom and dad, but they both was toxic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
very domestic violent relationship, and I had to watch that growing up. What was it like for you growing up with having your mom not at home as much?
I think for me, it probably in the beginning kind of it developed. That's why I said things would be okay. In the beginning of my life, I kind of developed a sense of confusion. I didn't quite understand what addiction meant.
Yeah.
What it can do to a person.
Yeah.
How it can warp their reality.
Yes.
They're living in a completely different world when they're in addiction. I don't think people understand that. Like, we could be right here, but they're in a different timeline.
Yes.
Of torture, pain, sorrow that we're not experiencing. And so I, in the beginning, I was angry. I was hurt. I'm like, Mom, why not us over this? I didn't understand. I had to give grace to my mom. She was a 17-year-old little girl having me in high school.
Wow.
And we're talking like prime 80s, 90s, crack, all these other drugs is booming, dope dealers in the streets, like all these things that was like
in her face.
In her face. This was the profound thing to be considered the man. The woman, like my mom was.
And I know she was beautiful.
Oh, gorgeous. Gorgeous, bro. Just beautiful brown, tall.
I knew she was.
She was a 5'11" model type volleyball player. She was beautiful, gorgeous. She still is.
Yes.
And, I walked around with a chip on my shoulder for a long time because I didn't understand. I tell people this story all the time. I held on to faith that my mom was going to get herself together so bad because I kept having this imaginary life that I wanted.
Yeah, don't we?
Right, I had this imaginary life about it being perfect if she had got her life together and all these things. And I remember my 8th grade graduation, I played ball, I'm getting recruited by high schools, and nobody can understand in my family why I'm so proud to get my mom a graduation ticket. Yeah. Because I kept thinking, well, maybe if I prove myself worthy enough, they'll realize I wasn't a mistake. So I spent most of my life like up against a battle uphill with myself. Like, I'm not a mistake. I'm not a mistake. I didn't ruin my parents' life. I didn't ruin their life. Maybe my mom wouldn't have got on drugs if I wasn't born. You have these thoughts that people don't realize that can be intrusive on a child. And they could not understand. My mom was a full-blown crackhead at this time, addicted to the tea. And every graduation, her ticket, I don't care how y'all feel. I want her there. I want her there because I still needed her to see. And I'm doing it, Mom. Right. I know you're not here, but I'm doing it.
This is what you created.
I would tell my grandma, man, find her. My grandma will go looking for her on the block. Like, we're going to find her. I'll make sure she's there. I'll find her. And she'll be there. And it hurt it. And I remember my 8th grade graduation, she was like, I want to take her to eat. And my dad and them had this big steak thing planned for me. And I was fine going with my mom to McDonald's drive-thru to share a burger with her on my graduation. Wow. And it was this thing I just always wanted to know, Mom. Like, I was telling myself I was enough, and I wanted to know, like, it's okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I still love you. And, I went through different emotions in that phase, but it was, again, your lessons and what you go through teaches you how to grow as a person. So for me, when I look back on these things and I don't bury them, don't dodge it, I have to admit my emotions and feelings connected to it. But, the best thing I could have did was give grace to her, and it helped me heal. Because I had to realize I can't be mad at you. You were 17. You were confused. I was 17 once. I don't know what I would have done.
Absolutely.
And that was the greatest thing we could have did. So, like, I tell people again, don't run away from your lessons. Don't wish for a different life. Your life is designed to get you to a new level if you allow it to, if you actually just take on the lessons and learn the lessons that's being taught to you.
And you've been taught a lot of lessons, even in your athleticism. I know everybody was like, oh, he going to the NBA, NFL. And you had recruiters and you had all these colleges and all these people. What drew you to acting?
Well, it's funny. So I always was somehow ironically connected to some kind of like drama class. Okay. Radio and TV was my major in high school. So really? I we was doing editing and all this about 14, 15 years old. Shooting the all-star games. I was doing all this in high school, so it was kind of ironic how the universe kind of like brought it right back into my life.
Or maybe it never left.
Yeah, I don't think it never did. I think it was just, timing, divine timing is everything. So I think it just was about the timing and the role I could play when the opportunity came around, because it's always been around. Yeah. But no, you couldn't have told me when I was younger that I wasn't going to the NBA or something like that. So it was just ironic, like, oh, snaps. I'm actually doing television.
Okay.
And I used to do this in high school and middle school. I used to do a drama class, plays. I did all this.
Wow.
So it was cool to actually step back into a familiar format, like I say, something that's familiar in my life.
Now you've been everybody man crush Monday, just so you know. Okay, I didn't heard. You've been everybody.
Okay.
Everybody. Okay, everybody wants you. How does that feel? Not just being desired physically, but just knowing that people love your work and your artistry, because this is art.
Yeah,
When you turn it into a whole other character outside of yourself, what does that feel like, knowing that people, they hitting you with one of these?
Yeah.
You know.
Man, it's actually still a surreal feeling because you never, being humble, it allows you to appreciate those moments, like more truly with your heart.
Yeah.
To know that your job can sometimes save somebody's life. I've done moments and roles or my career. I've had people come up and tell me like, man, you made me proud, bro. Like you made me believe I can chase my dreams.
Come on.
You know, so those are the things that kind of resonate with me more than just the, oh, you fine, you sexy. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I appreciate it. But it's really the ones that's like, man, can I hug you? Thank you. I appreciate you. I watched your journey. I did this. I did that. I'm proud of you. Because the people who were still rooting for me, this is who I do it for.
Yeah, you can feel their soul.
I can feel them like really being proud of me. And that's what I do this for. That's why like every project I get, I want to give 100% effort, because it was people who've been praying for me to win. And now that I'm in a position to, I have to make them, you know, I want to show them I appreciate their prayers. I appreciate their words of encouragement. So with that type of energy and limelight, man, it just tell you, just keep shining bright. You know, I no longer want to dim my light for anybody. I know that cold-heartedly from my heart, everything I'm doing is genuine.
Come on.
And the support I have is unmatched. Yeah. And I appreciate all of them. And I love them for their support, because that support is what's keeping, you know, me recharged.
What do your kids say?
Oh, dude, I think I'm Superman, dude.
They think
like,
you're Superman?
yeah, and I love it.
Like my daddy on TV.
Yeah, I
my
love
daddy
it.
in movies.
I love it, man, because I don't know. I feel like I'm showing my kids like something other than what I grew up to.
Yeah.
And that was, oh, you got to go to college. You got to do this. You got to do that. The script. You know what I mean? I'm actually showing my kids. I'm opening up a couple of businesses in front of them, and showing them entrepreneurship. I'm showing them chase after your goals, your dreams. I've been a bodybuilder. I've been a reality TV star. I've been an actor. They're like, man, my dad got businesses with our name on it. Like, so I'm showing them, chase whatever dream you have.
Yes.
Don't let nobody slow you down, not even me. I'm going to guide you, but if you cold-heartedly believe in it, I promise you I'm going to support you. You know what I'm saying? Just try to guide you, and I can't stop you from falling. Yeah. Sometimes I know I got to let it happen, but I want you to chase it. Whatever, if you believe in it, it can happen. The universe will deliver it. And so I think that's the greatest part for me. I think my dad didn't get to go after his dreams and goals. My dad always talked about opening a restaurant. My dad loved to cook. He always would talk about it. Yeah. But he didn't have the time to take the leap. You know, he was always trying to make sure he was providing for us. He was working. Absolutely. And he didn't have the time to be like, okay, can I take this extra $10,000 and go do this? Or, nah, this rent due, this mortgage due, this due. And so I think I'm doing just what's needed. As long as the next generation is doing just a little bit more, then that turns the key for the next generation. So I believe I'm just opening the door for my kids' imagination and dream and their heart to go after their goals.
Absolutely, and then you're building a time capsule, right, of what hard work, resilience, tenacity, breaking trauma bonds, breaking generational curses look like through that art. Now, the universe has brought you back to acting. How did you get in contact with Dennis Reed? Like, how did that, like, you Chicago, he Detroit?
So me and Dennis always tell this story, man, when people ask, like, how it happened. Yeah. So, graciously, man, it was a movie called Paper Heart. Okay. And the writer at the time of Paper Heart is Keisha Irving. Okay. Great.
Hey, Keisha.
Keisha, she's dope. She's dope, man. She be killing it with her books. And I couldn't tell you the details to the deal, that transaction between her and Dennis on Paper Heart. She was like, yo, I want Don to play Marcus. She was adamant about it. You know, D already got his actors out here. He's like, Don, who was him? And Dennis not watching no reality TV, so he's like, man, who his buddy? Okay. You know, and he thinking like, man, I gotta pay this dude all this money. He want to bodybuild. I gotta buy all this food for him to get out here. You already know Dennis he ain't trying to spend all this money, so he like, man, this fool, let him get out here and be an asshole, right? And I got here and I was just being Don. The crew fell in love with me. I remember the first day, light my incense on the trailer with him, talking to him and pouring life into anybody who was around me if I could.
Yes.
And I think what impressed Dennis more was not only my likability and humbleness, but I came ready to work.
Come on.
I came ready to kill my role.
Yes.
I delivered. I knew my lines. I knew what I needed. Like, it impressed him because he just wasn't. He like, okay, I'm expecting some.
Yeah, he ain't some
reality
arrogant,
too
cocky
arrogant,
guy.
cocky guy. Yeah, like he was like, nah, he really trying to do this.
He really taking up space.
And our brotherhood started then. You know, he believed in me. And I'm grateful for that. Like,
That's
beyond
beautiful.
grateful for that, man. Like, to have someone who doesn't owe you anything, to believe in you and tell you, like, bro, hey man, I'm proud of you. I'm gonna make sure, I'll be a part of helping you get it.
Yes.
That meant a lot. And so for him, he knows anytime I'm a call away, I'm coming running. His family is my family now.
Yes.
Everything kind of worked out that way, and it's been a blessing because he's been more than just a director in my life. You know, me and Dennis are on the phone. I've been able to call him about real life.
Yeah.
And that's been the most essential part, man, just having somebody be there as a real brother to me.
Yeah.
And, you know, he'll tell you, he didn't want to hire me.
You almost didn't
He
have
almost didn't have no job, man. I almost didn't have no job. And he would, and somehow, whatever Keisha said, whatever the universe wanted to happen. Thank you, Keisha, all the time. Whatever happened.
Thank you, Keisha.
Man, whatever happened, and it's been rolling ever since.
I love that. I love the brotherhood.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's hard for men to take advice or leadership from other men, as well as women take leadership from other women. You know what I mean? Especially when you feel like, I'm doing my thing, you doing your thing. You know what I mean? What made you have that spirit to come in with that mindset? Like, how do you prepare your regiment? Like, because everybody don't. Some people go in and they thinking they.
Well, I give this to one of sports, right? To be honest with you, I have to give it to sports. One of my high school coach was one of my best coaches of my life. His name is Lauren Jackson.
All right, Coach Jackson.
Coach Jackson was like a father away from home. I think my father never questioned what Lauren was teaching. My father was a very proud man.
Yeah.
But with Jack and my high school coach, he kind of just, y'all got him. He knew they meant me nothing but well. And one of the lessons he taught me was like, man, if you watch the greatest players in the world, they're forever students.
Yes.
Kobe Bryant never stopped learning.
Ever.
And that's why he became the Kobe Bryant, the mama that everybody's seen.
That part.
And it didn't mean he wasn't in the top greatest. He wasn't already one of the best players in the league.
Yeah.
But in order to maintain it or keep growing, you have to keep studying. You have to keep, chasing after whatever you're doing. So when it comes to walking in environments, and I see other people are doing either what I want to do or are already being pretty successful in it, why not learn?
Yeah.
Why not listen?
Absolutely.
Why not have an open ear? And then this is the thing about it. You don't have to take everything they say. Take what resonates and leave the rest.
Yeah.
But be open to receiving new things and new things that can take you over the top. Because it might have been one or two lessons that's the difference from me being, forever doing simple projects to that one lesson that Dennis might give me might be the break in me being a Marvel superhero.
That part.
But it's okay just to listen and be take value in the fact that somebody cares. And I always tell people, worry when nobody's talking to you.
That part.
I mean, they don't see the potential in you. They don't see you going somewhere. But as long as they're talking to you, that's something else I learned from my coach.
Yes.
I still care about you, my boy. So as long as I'm still in your ear, I know your potential. I mean, I can see you going somewhere.
Yes.
So when they stop talking to you, then start worrying.
I love that. I heard superhero.
Oh yeah.
I heard Marvel.
Oh, it's coming.
It's Black Panther 3.
It's coming.
You understand what I'm saying? I could see all of that.
It's coming.
Is that something that are we speaking that into existence?
Oh yeah, it's one of my affirmations daily about excelling in the acting world, number one, but always becoming a primetime action hero has been my dream since a kid. That's why I was like, some of this is just circling back since being a kid. I mean, I wanted to be in an action movie since Three Ninjas. Okay, so You know.
So what would you play? Would you play like a character that already exists, something from a comic book back in the day, or you want to create a whole new superhero?
If I could play any Marvel superhero or villain, I'd be fine.
Or villain?
Or villain, I'd be totally fine.
Really?
But the funniest thing is, I always wanted to remake Meteor Man. I always wanted to remake Meteor Man.
Well, let's remake Meteor Man.
Yeah, that's it. The hidden secret is I always wanted to remake Meteor Man. Dude. That's like a childhood classic. It had a message behind it, but it was so goofy and entertaining all at the same time.
It was.
I always wanted to remake Meteor Man.
Let's do it. Okay, so if you could tell Dennis one thing and your audience that watches you, what would you tell Dennis? And what would you tell your audience as they continue to watch your legacy continue to be built?
If I could tell Dennis one thing, is that number one, I'm grateful for him and his presence. I'm grateful for his determination, because I believe it pours off on other people in his facility. As a leader, sometimes you're not able to be vulnerable. As a leader, sometimes you have to be a solid object. Not sometimes. You have to be a solid object at all times in order for the room to function. Because the moment as a solid object falls apart, everything else becomes a domino effect. And I commend him for constantly putting the weight on his shoulders at times and not breaking in moments that I know he wants to break down. Sometimes take a break and walk away, but people see Dennis, he'd be right back up, first person up, 5 a.m., praying and being grateful for the next day and getting back to it. So with that type of person, man, I just want to tell him you are loved, you are appreciated, and that your determination rubs off on me as a man, as a father, as an entrepreneur, as an actor, that I will not let my last project be my best project. You remind me that every project should be my next best role. Everything I do should be my next best day. The next game should be my best game. That is something I've gotten from Dennis, and I appreciate him for that.
I love that. Now, what about to your audience, to the people that's been rocking with you? You know, because I see you getting fan letters, tons of DMs. I can see it. I can see you having like a little sports club with students and kids and teaching them little league stuff, and like I can see you having a nonprofit and like all of these things. What do you want to say to those people that are supporting you and what you're getting ready to do with your next levels?
To everyone that supported me, I want to tell you thank you. And that from the bottom of my heart, from the depth of my soul, I love you. And because of you, I can authentically be myself. I don't have to fake it to make it. I don't have to pretend to be anybody else but Donald Brumfield Jr. Because of you guys supporting me being him, I didn't have to become some arrogant guy, some weird celebrity dude, or step into dark corners to find my success. You guys allowed me to pray, be genuine, be a vulnerable man in front of you guys time after time again, and y'all watch me grow, and y'all prayed for me, and I want to tell you I thank you for that. And because of your prayers and your energy you poured into me, I will be successful. And through my success that I receive, the receiving I'm doing makes me an even greater giver. So when the time is right, I will be able to give just as much as I've received because of the love you guys have given. I want to tell you thank you, and that your love and support will not go in vain. Your thoughts about me will truly manifest me into the greatest actor you've ever seen.
Yes, I say to that, okay? Now listen to the new viewers that don't know nothing about Big Don. How can they find you? How can they follow you? How can they support what you got going on?
Of course, man. Well, look. My name is Don Brumfield. You can always find me on Facebook as Don Brumfield Jr. Or you can look up Bishop Don Brumfield Jr. As well as Instagram, Twitter. What's the new one that came out? Twix. Is it Twitch?
I don't know.
It's so many things. But Bishop__Don is easy to find on all these different platforms. I try to make it pretty simple, but I appreciate your support. I appreciate the new clicks and follows. Go check us out. And when you're on Tubi, when you're on Peacock, man, search Don Brumfield on these apps, man. I promise you won't be disappointed.
Okay, and you definitely won't be disappointed because he's in a new series, the C-14 classified. We can't really talk to you about it, but when I tell you, his uniform is uniform.
It's uniform, man.
As uniform as uniform. So you don't want to miss it. Listen, it's your girl, Jaja. Another DR2 exclusive interview with the one and only Don Bishop. Peace.